Yes, I have to make you a co-host. Let's do it. Hi, everyone. Nice to have you with us tonight. We have some more people still popping on with us, but we're about ready to start. And tonight we're going to talk about children and essential oils. We got tips and ideas on how to use your essential oils around children. So hopefully you'll enjoy this information as much as I did getting it all together. So we're going to start off with some safety tips for children. Children's skin is not like our skin, so you have to be a little bit more careful. So I did some research, and these are some ideas that we came up with to make sure that we were using essential oils not too strong for the children's skin. So what I came up with is dilute, dilute, dilute. So what you want to do is take your essential oil, whatever oil you're going to be using, and the information I got says 1 drop to 1 teaspoon of carrier oil. So a carrier oil would be like fractionated coconut oil, grapeseed oil, olive oil, just some kind of an oil that would make this a little more diluted for the tender skin of children. For newborns, it says 1 drop to 2 tablespoons. So you have to be that much more careful if your children are younger. Okay, so here's some more tips and tricks that came from the Johns Hopkins website that I'll go ahead and share with you. So if you want to take some notes, if you have children, grandchildren that you're going to be using oils around, here's what Johns Hopkins has to tell us. They said you always want to do a patch test, which is always a good idea for any of us. Some of these ideas are for us adults also. Do a patch test, put it on, wait 24 hours just to make sure it's okay. But when you're using an essential oil, even the Young Living essential oils, make sure that it's diluted. So with your children, you want to do that. They suggest children do not take essential oils internally, like we have the Vitality line. So that is up to you, but the suggestion from them is not to use the Vitality line with children. And another idea was with peppermint oil, some of the oils are hot oils. Peppermint, cinnamon, even our thieves is a little bit of a hot oil. So it says do not put it on the skin of children who are under 30 months old. Never use oils, this is for all of us, in your eyes, ears, or nose. So just be careful because these places, the skin is too sensitive to put essential oils because we know how potent our essential oils are. We always want to buy from a reliable source. We buy our oils from Young Living, so we know that's super reliable. And it says here, this is for all of us also, when you're using a citrus oil, it can be photosensitive. You don't want to put a citrus oil diluted even on a child and go out in the sun. That's another tip that they have. So here's some ideas if you want to take some notes about using essential oils on children. Which essential oils might you use on children? So if you want to make sure your children are a little calmer, lavender, a chamomile, basil, frankincense, peace and calming, rutavala. So those are all ideas if we want like everybody to slow down. And that's for us too. I'll go ahead and repeat those. Lavender, Roman chamomile, basil, frankincense, peace and calming, and rutavala. Let me tell you about rutavala. I cannot hardly stand the scent of rutavala. So if you want to use it, put it on toes, put a sock on so you don't have to smell it. If you agree with me that rutavala is not your scent. What if your child is just totally shattered, as the British say? What kind of an oil can you have if they're just exhausted? Well, if they're over 30 months, peppermint is a great wake-up oil. Ginger is another one, and orange. This is for all of us, but these are their ideas on the Johns Hopkins site for children. What if you're going outside at night? Citronella, diluted, remember, and this would not be for children under 6 months old, and basil. So those are 2 ideas if you're going to be outside at night. Spring is coming, so we're starting to think about that. And us in Florida, it's 80 degrees here, so we're outside all the time. Lavender, of course, you can use for everything. And then we have our Kid Scents line that I'll show you a little bit later. So what about dilution? What kind of dilution? We mentioned some, but I got some more ideas later on the website that from 3 months to 2 years, 0.25 to 0.5%. So that is a tiny bit of oil with a lot of dilution. If the children are from 2 to 6 years old, 1% to 2% dilution. So we're talking about a tiny bit of carrier oil with a tiny bit of essential oil with a lot of carrier oil. 6 to 15 years, that would be up to 3% dilutions. That's still quite diluted. 15 years and over, they still suggest a 5% dilution. So we're talking about very little essential oil with a lot of carrier oil for children. Always want to watch our hot oils. Make sure that those hot oils are away from the children, especially babies. You also want to think about with children, putting an oil somewhere they're not going to touch it, then touch their eyes. Because children touch their eyes, their mouths a lot. So make sure we're putting the oil on them that they're not going to stick in their mouth. Okay, here's some more ideas. If your children need to study after school, somebody mentioned they're using Clarity in their diffuser. One of us on the Zoom call tonight, Clarity is a great study oil. Another idea, if not frankincense, of course, is always great, but Envision. If you want your children who need to study to concentrate. What if it's playtime? Citrus Fresh is a great one to put in the diffuser when the children are playing. And another idea, I read on some sites, you don't want to put essential oils in bath water because they might go directly, since water and oil don't mix, that it might go on the children's skin directly. But of course, Young Living had a beautiful idea here. Take the oil, maybe lavender oil, one of the kids' scents oils, and dilute it with a carrier oil, then put it in the bath water. So you don't have to worry about that. Some other ideas for children, if they're going to school, maybe to have with them is the Thieves hand sanitizer. This is a great thing for children to use to make sure everybody, all of us to use Thieves hand sanitizer. And I also have some videos I want to show you, but before we get into the fun stuff, and I'll show you my Kids Sense line, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Rochelle. So take it away, Rochelle.
Hi, everybody. Okay, so I wanted to just talk about oils specific that I have found and learned that have been quite beneficial for children. I've spoken with, if you know Claudia, she actually is part of our team, and she's done a little blurb on Copaiba, and how we all really should have it in our cabinets, but how beneficial it is for babies that are teething. Copaiba comes in the Vitality line, and you just want to make sure you adhere to the dilution ratios, but you just rub a little bit on their gums, and it will soothe and calm the aches that come through for the babies. So Copaiba is floral, or wait a minute, comes from the bark of a tree. I want to make sure I have that correctly. And so what happens is, what they do when you're using the Copaiba, when usually I was going to be using it with another oil. So let's say, for instance, I was having some discomfort and I wanted to intensify, let's say, lavender, because lavender is very soothing and very calming. It works on your central nervous system. I would use that along with the Copaiba to intensify the effects of that lavender. And I've done that on many occasions. And then I learned, though, with infants or even with adults, the Copaiba will work just the same. But specifically with babies and their teething, you just work and you just rub a little bit. Again, making sure that you adhere to those dilution ratios in the babies, their gums and that teething, because it can be quite hard on the, but also on the parents who are enduring a lot of what's going on with that baby. And so it's a way to give them comfort. So some of that, of course, with Copaiba, it is good. It's an anti-inflammatory, and so it helps when you're dealing with all that discomfort. So you put that with a little bit of lavender, which it too comes in the Vitality line, then even more so. But with babies and children, you don't necessarily need to use both because their systems are smaller. And so you just try the one and you adhere to those dilution ratios and you see the effects within 2 to 5 minutes, see what kind of difference you see with the child. They'll tell you, you know, the baby will start to feel and sound like they're being soothed or not. And then maybe you can add the lavender, but you know, make sure that you're just focusing and paying attention to the child and let them kind of guide you the rest of the way. Another oil I wanted to share with you is, of course, we talked a little bit about lavender. The lavender, we love to refer to the lavender as the Swiss Army knife of everything. And I've used it in the last few weeks. I picked up a little something and it's really been really great for me as an adult, but even more so for children and for babies. And what I really do appreciate and love about Young Living is that the purity of the brand of what you get. Before I honestly knew anything about essential oils, the only thing I knew that lavender, oh, it'll help you go to sleep. And I took a trip to one of the local grocery stores and I worked with a teenage demographic that has a lot of challenges. And I thought, well, let me put some of that in the air. It'll calm things down and, you know, simmer people down, you know, a little bit. And I didn't get any results with that, I'll be honest with you. And then I learned about the purity of essential oils and how important it is to know from seed and the soil that they're planted in to how they're harvested and they're distilled and everything that goes with that entire process. And that's when I learned about Young Living. And with lavender in its purest form, you can put it, you can dilute it. The same thing with the Copaiba. If you're going to dilute it, you're going to add a little bit maybe to the child's gum area, maybe if the baby's teething, or maybe they're feeling discomfort. Maybe they've fallen down and they got a little boo-boo, right? And again, adhering to those dilution ratios, apply a little bit. I've done that with myself. And you apply a little bit. It's regenerative, so it helps with the healing process, but it's soothing and it's comforting. So where there's even discomfort in the skin or those nerve tissues, then it'll calm and soothe those. But with your central nervous system, sometimes you feel maybe shaken up by the whole ordeal. It'll calm in that manner as well. And sometimes that's really helpful when you think about with children, even, you know, babies and, you know, toddlers, they fall down and they get a little something, you know, scrape or whatever. And they want a hug. They want, you know, their parent to give it a little kiss. And that will aid in all of that. You know, maybe it'll even shorten that whole ordeal. But I love how comforting and soothing it is. I've been using it lately a little bit more. You know, if I go out to the stores or if I'm in crowds, I can put it in my mask. So even the same for our children and our babies. Put a little bit even on the bottom of their feet. The foot is the most absorbent part of the body. And so that's just something to give consideration to maybe when they're a little fussy, you know, or discomfort in some way, you know, try a little bit of lavender. All right. And then what else was I going to add? I have a couple of more. Let's see. One of my favorites. Okay. Gentle Baby. I don't even think I have any. I have a habit. Yes, I love Gentle Baby. I keep it and I will have a tendency when I get it, I try to dilute it for myself so that I can stretch it a little longer because I use it consistently. But it's comforting, it's soothing, it's relaxing. It helps for reducing stress, especially if you're going through pregnancy. Something that you might want to think about, it's regenerative. You put it on, maybe you have imperfections in your skin, and you can try that. And your pregnant women on those bellies, it's just something to think about. But even more so as an adult, right? Same thing. It's particularly soothing for babies if maybe they have dry or chapped areas on their body. It will improve the skin surface. It has rose ointment. If you add it to the rose ointment, I thought rose ointment was one of the freebies this month, but it isn't. But you can add it to the rose ointment, and that will add to the regenerative process as well. It's calming. It brings a feeling of peace with tiny babies, children, and with adults. So it really is one of my favorites. But even more so with maybe babies who have any amount of discomfort for whatever reason, but if you feel like they need some type of soothing or comforting, Gentle Baby is the one. It is a blend. It has coriander in it, geranium, palmarosa. It has lavender, ylang ylang, Roman chamomile, as well as bergamot, lemon, jasmine, and rose. Gentle Baby. It's definitely something to give consideration to. Try it, put it in your basket, your loyalty basket for the month, and try that out. If you don't have any of the other items that I listed, it's kind of a great way to try and see. You get some of the flavors of Gentle Baby, the coriander, which I actually had that one as well. It's smells a little greener, a little more herbal. So you catch notes of that. Not so much really the ylang ylang, which can be quite floral, but that too is in there. So, and rose, just to name, a few. It's just a way to try it. So keep that under your hat too. All right, now let's see. Coming up next, Peace and Calming. Can't go wrong with that. It's wonderful. It's a blend as well. It's, again, relaxation, gives you a sense of peace and emotional well-being, but we're talking about children. So sometimes children, babies, teenagers, there's a lot of stress going on with our young people. And so Peace and Calming is another one. It is a blend, but you still want to make sure that you adhere to those dilution ratios. And again, diffuse it, add a little bit to your neck area, the back of your neck, the back of your ears, the bottom of your feet. Put it in the diffuser. I love about Peace and Calming, it's got some fruit in it. It's tangerine, orange, again, ylang ylang, patchouli, blue tansy. It is wonderfully aromatic, but it is quite soothing and calming. You couple that with lavender at night in the diffuser, and they're out. We're all out, but it is quite relaxing and calming. So in the name says it all, Peace and Calming. A couple other ones are Sleepy Eyes, which is one of my favorites. I have that as well. That too has lavender in it, is a blend. It is something that's actually designed for children specifically. And what it does, it has lavender, geranium, Roman chamomile, tangerine, bergamot, sacred frankincense, valerian, and rue. The name, Sleepy Eyes, what is the intention? To help them relax and go to sleep. And so at night. So, but if you wanted to use it during the day, the whole idea is to get calmness and relaxation, entered into that picture so that they can, feel very grounded. So Sleepy Eyes, definitely take a look at that one. And then I have two more. One is Sniffles, the other is Tummy Jives. This is the time of year. Some people feel like, oh my goodness, I don't want to go anywhere. There's children, we see children, they do this. And so adults don't want to be involved. But look, some kids, this is the life that we're living now. Those germs are in their purified form. So Sniffles, I bought and I added a roller top to it. And what I do is I'll add it to like my little area of where my lymph nodes area, just to kind of bolster and help beef up my immune system. If I'm starting to feel like I'm going to dip below the wellness line. And so some of your ingredients in, because this one is really great for congestion. Congestion is good, and you put behind your ears a little bit, kind of help with that. So here are some of the ingredients in the Sniffles. It is eucalyptus blue, Palo Santo, lavender, Dorado azul, Ravensara, myrtle, Eucalyptus globulus, marjoram, pine, eucalyptus, my goodness, citrodora, cypress, Eucalyptus radiata, black spruce, and peppermint. So let me explain a couple of these items that I didn't have, and I was severely congested. And I didn't have myrtle, but I had Sniffles. And I have been using that Sniffles because pine, eucalyptus, eucalyptus blue, those are all incredible. You were talking about respiratory issues. So Sniffles, it's in the name. It's going to help open everything up and dry it up and get your child where they need to be. And so I have been using that on the regular. And then, of course, Chris talked a little bit about thieves. And let's not forget tummy jies. If you have digies or you use ginger or peppermint, tummy jies, again, it's in the name. It's quieting, relaxing. It's a blend applied to your tummies. If they're feeling upset, it also supports proper digestion. Some of the essential oils in that are spearmint, peppermint, tangerine, fennel, anise, ginger, and cardamom. So again, this tummy jies and Sniffles and sleepy eyes, they're all part of the KidSense line. So they're already diluted and they're ready to go for children and babies. But tummy jies, again, sometimes that happens, their stomachs or our babies and stomach or children or stomachs are just upset, for whatever reason. It's not always diet related, but clearly there's something that's in there. And that's one way to just use the tummy jies, just apply it to their stomach. And Chris, I believe that is what I have.
All right, thank you very much. So would you like to learn how to make some slime? Let me show you how to make some slime. Here we go. Let me get it ready. And I know everybody wants to make some slime, so how do we make slime? All right, let me get back here so I can show you. And I'll share my screen. And 3, 2, 1, let's make slime together.
I can't hear it.
You guys can't hear that?
I can't.
Oh, that's not good. Well, it's just some music playing. If you can you see it okay to see the ingredients?
Yes.
All right. I don't know how, it's not muted, so you should be able, anyway, it's just a few seconds here. If you can get the ingredients down, I can send you the link, or I'll put the link after the class here on the chat. Okay. So it's just a cute little thing to make with your kids or children that are over visiting, just some slime. I thought that might be a little bit of fun for you. And also I've got some other things that I want to show you that hopefully you can hear these because these are from YouTube. They're actually, it's this, the Young Living's website. So this is actually not a video, so that's okay. I can just show it to you and explain it to you. This is about making finger paints. So how do you make finger paints? If somebody's coming over to visit, you all can see this. Everybody see it? Yeah. Okay. So what you do is you take flour, salt, water, some food coloring, and then 10 drops of lavender oil. And it's very simple. Just mix the flour and the salt, add some water. And as you add the water, make sure it's not lumpy. And then what you do is add some food coloring. And then you can do each of these with different food coloring. So you want to do one color and then one another color so that you have these paints. But I think it's a really cute thing to do. And there we go. We can do some finger painting. And they give you the suggestion, put something underneath so that the paint does not get on something you don't want it to. I just thought that's a cute thing to do with your children, to do some finger painting and make your own finger paints that are non-toxic. Okay, so there is one more thing that I wanted to show here. And let me see if I can get it up for you. I'm not sure if you'll be able to hear it. It's another one from YouTube, but it's about our Kid Power from the Kid Sense line. So let me know if you can't hear it, but I'll go ahead and show it to you and we'll see if you all can get it. Let me bring you up back, share my screen. Oh, I'm still sharing that one. Okay. Let me share Kid Power with you. Do you guys know the Kid Sense line, the Kid Power? Here we go. Tell me if you can hear it.
Chris, are you talking? Chris, your hands are moving, but we can't hear you. Does anybody else hear the video? Okay, yeah, we can't hear it.
All right. It's just the idea. It's a cute little video about how Kid Power gives your children power that they might not have naturally. So what I want to do now is go ahead and share with you a little bit more about Kid Power, the Kid Sense line and Kid Power. Rochelle was telling you about this line, but what it is all of these oils are pre-diluted for children. So you do not have to dilute these. That is the joy of the Kid Sense line. So my friend who actually asked us for this class, who we were hoping would come on and help us teach, this is what she said about this oil. She said this oil is her perfume. She said that it smells like an orange creamsicle, which I kind of think too. So if you don't have it, it is like an orange creamsicle. And she said this not only helps children have confidence and independence if they're a little shy about something, but she says it makes her feel happy and energized. So if you need a new perfume and you like a scent that's vanilla and orange, kind of like Pam was talking about earlier, you might want to think about this one, Kid Power. It is a diluted oil, just so you know, but it's all of these Kid Sense lines. Rochelle was telling you about Sleepy Eyes. This is by my bed. This goes in my diffuser too, but if we're away and I don't take my diffuser with me, I take this. Instead of taking my lavender and cedarwood, I just take my Sleepy Eyes with me. And that is great for me sleeping.
What is it? I can show it again.
The Sleepy Eyes?
Sleepy Eye?
Yep, Sleepy
Yeah.
Eye. Sleepy
Oh.
Eye, what it is. Yeah, I thought it was Sleep Easy until they all corrected me. It's Sleepy Eyes. And so all of these are all, anything in the kids' sense lines are already diluted. So you do not have to dilute them to use on children. And there's a whole bundle of oils in the kids' sense line. There's a bundle of rollers that you can get. If you want a gift for some children in your life, you might think about that. This one is great to put in the diffuser for kids who are studying after school. Genius. So there again, it's in this line where they're all diluted for you. And Rochelle mentioned sniffles. So some of this gunk running around, my friend was telling me it was in their home and they put it on the children's chest. And she said it works for adults too, but it was an amazing oil for that time. They needed some respiratory support. That's what she said. She also added the diaper rash cream works wonders on bums of children. So she wanted to make sure we mentioned that. And another thing that she wanted to tell you all about that Rochelle mentioned to you already too is Gentle Baby. So she said that when her relatives, her niece, she said her niece was very, very young, an infant, she would scream for hours on end. So mom would take Gentle Baby and put it on the feet. I'm sure she diluted it, but she said it just calmed her right down. And she said to this day, that child loves Gentle Baby and she'll ask for it by name. She's like, she wants smell it. And she wants this oil is what she said. So those are some ideas that we had for you. And I asked one of my friends to come on because she actually has an infant or a 2-year-old now, but I don't know if she wants to share something with you guys or not. But feel free, Bonga, if you wanted to share some things with us. You can take it away. Not sure if she did or not. Let's see if we get a response here. All right. Well, let's see if she has something she wanted to say to us. Okay. I think we'll put that on hold. Maybe I'll share it with you guys.
Can you hear?
Yes, I can hear you. Did you want to say? Okay.
So I didn't really try too much of the oils with my daughter, but I did try Gentle Baby with her from the very beginning, and it helps a lot. It keeps her calm. From the time she was born, when I was at the hospital, I used these throughout in my diffuser all the way from the hospital, and everybody's like, "Oh, your room smells so nice. What do you have in there?" But because she was born in the height of COVID, so you can imagine my fear that something would go wrong. And then she was in the NICU for like 27 days because she was premature. So I would use some of the frankincense. I would sneak it in and rub it under her feet. Gentle Baby, because we can't stay there at night. So right before I leave, I would rub it under her feet, and then I'd watch her on the camera to see if she's actually having a good night's sleep, because they have those video cameras where you can watch them in their crib while they sleep. And I don't know if I'm being biased to it because she has been introduced to it so young, from very young. But those are some of the oils that I use on her. Right now, she loves now that she's a little bit older, I'm experimenting with a little more of the other oils. Lavender, I realize she can't do with lavender. It makes her actually hyper rather than makes her go to sleep. So lavender for her. But the whole seedling bundle with the diaper cream, the bath soap, the hair oil, I use that regularly. That's like the only thing I've ever used for her bath, for her hair, and the diaper cream does work wonders. She hasn't really had too many, like whenever something would flare up, I'd put it the next day, cleared up, she's happy again. That's really what I've tried so far, and that seems to work, and she loves it. Right now, she likes the Mighty Pro, the powders, those little powders. I used to put it in her drink so that she would secretly not notice it. But she's aware of the pack. So whenever she sees it, she just opens her mouth and says, ah. So I just pour the powder directly in her mouth and she absolutely loves it. It's like a treat for the day. I was just bringing it out because I couldn't remember the actual name, and she saw it and she starts screaming for it. For a treat.
You. Let me just ask you a question. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, that's a,
Did you dilute the Gentle Baby before you put it on her or whatever?
I did not dilute it. I just use like maybe a drop or half a drop, and then I rub it on myself first and then rub it on her feet when she was younger. But now I don't, because she's almost 2, so I don't dilute it anymore.
That's what I found with mothers. And I just wanted to check with you what you did, because even though everyone says dilute, not necessarily does everyone do that. And the kids are fine because the oils are so pure. That's what I think. And I have to tell you, I don't know if you noticed, but last night I pulled out my peppermint oil at the meeting and I put it up on my tongue because it freshens up my breath, the peppermint vitality. And she saw me. She saw me pull the oil out and she was staring me down. So she knows those bottles for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, she knows the bottle. So she walks, whenever she sees it, she walks around. She's like, "Oh, I can drink it." So I just have to make sure I keep the right ones. Whether she puts it in her mouth, it's not dangerous. She knows them very well.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for contributing that. So these are some ideas we have for you all. I have one more graphic I want to show you guys. This is just some kid-friendly diffuser blends that children might like. So they might like this one called Fruit Snack with bergamot, grapefruit, and lemongrass. How about Sleeping Beauty with lemon and lavender? Super Kid, Thieves and Orange. These are for your diffuser. Bubbly Clean, Tea Tree Spearmint and Lime, Play Day, Bergamot Orange and Spearmint, or Smarty Pants, Rosemary, Lemon, and Eucalyptus. Those are some ideas for you moms out there. What do you put in the diffuser that your children might love? So those are ideas for you. We're going to say goodbye to everybody else listening in, and we're going to chat here on Zoom. So thanks for joining us, and bye to everybody out there. Bye.